You don't want to be rich. You
What do I
want
want?
to be fulfilled. You want to be
Ah,
happy. In some
okay.
country, in one part of the world, they
I
will
do
tell
that by
you
being rich.
you do that by having a huge house. In another
Right.
part of the world, you do
Right.
that by having a huge ball of cockroaches for dinner.
Uh-huh.
In another
Right.
part of the world, you do that by having all your village together around a bonfire. In different places, times, and culture, being happy meant different things. Today, if you have many, many, many zeros in your bank account, maybe you think about that as happiness. But you know what? I think the children of today already don't really associate happiness with that. So, happiness is what we're looking for, fulfillment is what we're looking
So we
for.
need we need something that unites. Okay. So what we need
There's
then
no
is a
problem with
goal.
being rich. I'm just saying that we don't understand the mechanism that actually drives us. The
Bring it on.
highest form of fulfillment, the greatest pleasure there is, the greatest, best, lasting, continuous pleasure.
Sex,
There no sex. How is
money.
sex? How is sex lasting?
Okay, money,
Money. You have 100. You want
fame,
two. You want 200.
fame,
Fame. You want. You have a. You have 1,000 likes. You want 1,000,000 likes. It always.
honor.
You always get used to it. Honor. You have a thousand again. 1,000 likes. Same thing.
Okay, so what?
Why do the famous people? They it's the famous people who develop
I heard Justin Bieber's depressed.
depression and right.
Yeah,
So
I heard the Biebs is depressed.
the all of these forms of pleasure that we are familiar with through our egoistic world in our bodily five senses, all of these fulfillments suffer from what psychologists refer to as hedonic adaptation. We get used to them. We get used to them. We don't, we're
Okay,
fed
so
up
now
with
we come
it.
to the education. Now we come to educating, right? These fundamental things, right? I can base my entire life off of getting that Ferrari. I can base my entire life on getting that trophy wife. I can base, or, it could be something more noble, quote unquote, more noble than that. I'm using examples, but I
Sure.
could base my entire life on that penthouse apartment. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be about solving, curing the disease. It's not, it's, the point is that without proper education, we spend our entire lives chasing some vain or whatever, some kind of fulfillment, but it doesn't make us any different than any other animal, any other creature. Just you live your 100 years and that's it, and you go into the ground. It's over. So with the new kind of education, we can start to understand who we are. We can start to understand what are these forces inside of me that are pushing me forward. And then we can understand how much of these things that are operating me are just my animal uh, instincts. And then we start to see that as humanity, we can't survive just as animals because we're killing each other. Not only are we killing each other, we're killing the planet that we're on, and we're headed straight into a war. And the
Yeah.
virus is raging. There's 4,000 dead people yesterday in America from the virus. The virus is getting worse, even, it seems like, right? And everything is raging. And then we come to some new kind of education. We start to understand, what is this system? It was as if I was like a little child and I was just chasing my Legos. And now all of a sudden, I learned there's a whole big world out there. And here we are. Now we
Nature
start to understand.
nature's going to help us. Nature's going to help us. Evolution will help us. Look, it's not that ethereal. Evolution, is the process by which nature brings one level of being to a higher level of being. It's the process by which, the fish becomes a monkey, by which the monkey becomes human, by which the human becomes a more advanced human. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. It's not that far. Through everything that is happening to us, we're gonna see that the way to go forward to our next state, to a better state, has to do with us actually working on our connection. Not just saying, giving speeches about unity and then going back, and then the day after, going back, the second after, going back to the same kind of reality that breeds divisiveness and mutual hatred. Rather, we have to use our conscious capacities that we were given by nature as human beings to start rising above our egos in a conscious manner, building an environment that will constantly raise us, elevate us, that will constantly remind us that we're connected, that will constantly help us find that deeper, better, bigger pleasure that exists in through that narrow slit, that we narrow opening that we get into when we actually start feeling each other as one.